Hi, everybody, and welcome to the DRF Breeding Report. I'm Dan Ullman, always pleased to be talking pedigrees with Nicole Russo. This week, we're going to look back at Belmont Stakes winner Tapwrit. And as they swing into the stretch of the Belmont, Nicole, young stallions dominated the first two legs of the Triple Crown this season, but as they swing into the stretch, you've got two old standbys, Curlin and Irish Warcry, and Tapit on Tapwrit, and Tapwrit's going to wear down Irish Warcry late.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Tapit and Curlin, really two prominent, still younger classic sires. Both have many years to come, hopefully, in their stud careers. Irish Warcry finishing second keeps alive Curlin's streak of having a classic winner or classic placed runner from each of his crops to race so far. But gosh, Tapit, what can we say about his domination of the Belmont in recent years? Tapwrit is third winner in this race.
He's sensational. We're going to get to Tapit's dominance of the Belmont Stakes. But looking at Tapwrit's pedigree, of course, he is by the great Tapit, and he sold for $1.2 million as a yearling. You look at the bottom of this pedigree, and you see a lot of speed and class. I mean, the damn appealing Zophie was very fast and precocious, and this horse is still able to get a mile and a half.
Yeah, Tapwrit's a really nice pedigree cross because you do have, some stamina, classic influences on top. Tapit is from the AP&D line that's been just so good around two turns in these longer classics. And then on the bottom, that speed, appealing Zophie, a Grade 1 winning juvenile. All of that combined makes Tapwrit a $1.2 million yearling at Phasing-Tipped in Saratoga a couple of years ago. Really, the pedigree just kind of covers all of his bases.
Tapit stands for a $300,000 stud fee at Gainesway, also represented this year by Grade 1 winner Cupid, winner at 1.25 miles, the Gold Cup at Santa Anita, and also some very good 3-year-old fillies, Unique Bella, and Actress, winner of the Black-Eyed Susan. Now let's talk about Tapit's record in the Belmont recently. We're going to throw up a graphic showing just an amazing record. It began in 2014 with Tonalist. We'll forgive him for not winning the Belmont in 2015 with Frosted. He was chasing a super horse and Triple Crown winner American Pharaoh. He runs first and third in 2016 with Creator and Lonnie, and of course in 2017 wins it again with Tapwrit. It's not only really a celebration of Tapit, but as you mentioned, this AP Indy sire line as a whole. AP Indy, of course, a Belmont winner in his own right.
Yeah, and I mean, let's put Tapit's accomplishments in context here. He's one of only 5 stallions now to sire 3 or more Belmont winners. The record belongs to Lexington with four winners in the late 1800s when the game was completely different. Lexington's contemporary Australian also sired 3 winners. Fair Play sired 3 winners, one of those being the Great Man o' War, who sired 3 winners himself, the last of those coming with War Admiral sweeping the Triple Crown in 1937. So Tapit, the only stallion in the modern history of the game as we understand it now, to sire this many winners of the longest American Classic. And in addition to these, 1.5 mile Grade 1 winners, Tapit's also got juvenile champions. He's got outstanding milers at the other end of the spectrum. So really, he's so unique in what he's bringing to the game, and I mean, his dominance speaks for itself.
Now, he's a super stallion, to be sure. Not only can we celebrate the fact that he gets 1.5 mile winners with regularity in races like the Belmont Stakes, but it really speaks to Tapit just sort of throwing soundness and hardiness in that these 3-year-olds are able to run 1.5 miles after this entire Triple Crown grind, the road to the Kentucky Derby, often running in the Kentucky Derby, and then still having enough in June to win at 1.5 miles.
Yeah, and as you've mentioned, the durability, a lot of Tapit's best runners do train on to run well as older horses. You mentioned Cupid, who had a very productive 3-year-old campaign last year, coming back to win the Gold Cup in his first start of the year. Tonalist went on to, have a very productive 4-year-old season after winning the Belmont. Untappable ran until she was 5. I mean, all of this bodes very well for Tapwrit's future.
Tapit, an absolute juggernaut as a stallion, standing for $300,000 at Gainesway. Yet another Belmont Stakes winner this year with Tapwrit. Next week on the DRF Breeding Report, Nicole and I are going to take a look back at the juvenile sale season and highlight some very promising runners that should be debuting this summer. Some horses that will really be high profile, and it'll be interesting to see how we can handicap them from a surface and distance standpoint. You can check Nicole out on Twitter at DRF Russo, and for the latest breeding news and notes, head on over to Twitter at DRF Breeding. I'm Dan Illman for the DRF Breeding Report. We'll see you next week.